Hello, welcome to the full moon in Cancer report. Kind of excited with this one. The full moon in Cancer is quite something. So I have got my paper, so you may hear a bit of rustling. Do excuse me, it's the only way that I can get all the information out to you. So the theme for this moon in my mind is freedom and your own inner power. Cancerian full moon is about emotions. However, remember we're still in Capricorn Sun, which is dealing with governance, regulations, rules. We know the ticket now. We know the thing. So that kind of thing's still kind of happening. As we move through the year, as we move through 2020-22, what's coming for us is awakening, regeneration. It's going to reveal itself. Lots of revelations. This is the revealing is going to happen. We're going to be opened up to seeing the truth. And I think a little bit of that's already happening on a kind of collective scale. If you look at the news, you look at what's going on in the different countries, we are getting a little bit of revealing happening. This is asking us within the Cancerian full moon, within that emotional landscape, to start to look at what is really real. Okay, now I know I've been banging on about this quite a lot. However, it's kind of important that we bring ourselves back to ourselves, our whole system, and our own reality and our own truth, and start to move through that way. It's very important right now that we kind of look to knowing that as a thing. Okay, so it kind of is going to show a purging of restrictions in this regeneration, creating a new rebirth, realigning ourselves, reopening ourselves. Now, the full moon in Cancer is on 27 degrees. Now, this is not the first moon on 27 degrees. I think there's been about 4 before, or 5, 4, I think, before. There's 27 degrees shows something within numerology, within my mind, and within what I can see in the collective understanding and through the angels. What I'm getting here is that the 27 is linked to the 9, so 7 plus 2 is 9, gives you the 9, the energy of the collective whole, the divine whole, collectively understanding we are all working together in cohesion. Those 27 degrees are not accidents, they are happening to align us to a greater understanding of our collective community, the way that we work, the way that we behave, and the way that we are, right? And it's very important we kind of step into that. Then on the other side of the coin, we've got this beautiful Cancerian full moon, beautiful highlighted aspect, illumination. What do we not want? What can we get rid of? What can we release within this full moon? And also, guess what? Moon is Cancer's ruling planet. So we've got the goddess moon speaking to us. This is the divine mother, the goddess moon. We have Gaia, and we also have the divine mother that is within the moon conscious energy. And she is here to tell us something. Now, for the last few years, we have been stuck in a lack of safety. We have been told the world's not safe, people aren't safe, everything isn't safe, being outside isn't safe, being inside isn't safe. I could go on. The thing with this lack of safety is it really brings up that protective shell. Think Cancerian, think the crab, think of how it will go into its protective shell, but also remember, what does the crab symbolize? Yes, it's this protective shell, but if you go down the beach, poor little crabs have got their legs caught, they get cracked shells. This is about harmonizing that strength with the softness of Cancerian. Cancerian is a very emotional energy, right? You kind of watery, a water sign, water energy, and it encompasses all of this. And this is asking us to release the protection that isn't really helping us. Now, feeling unsafe is no good, right? Because it taps into our lower chakra centers. So it taps into our root chakra, it taps into our sacral chakra, and it makes us feel wobbly. Now, if we don't have a good foundation in place, and this is with everything in life, we can't function on all cylinders. So the message, the collective global message that's been circulating, is knocking our conscious field out of alignment. What's being asked through this Cancerian moon, what's being given as well with that Sun, okay, Capricorn Sun holding us in stronger energy, yeah? It's asking us to take our power back, right? Yeah, got it? Take your power back. Take your power back. It's not okay for systems and even other people and toxicity to ram your system with constant chaos, right? Which then creates stress, okay? And this stress kind of overrides your initial inner ability to function. It stops you being able to love on a high level. It stops you to be able to care for yourself on a high level. Think Cancer, think emotions, think self-care, think self-love, think stepping into all of that and really go towards that. We've got a lot going on planetarily and have been for the past year or so actually, and it's going to keep going on because of the fact of governance, because of the fact of regulations, and because of this fact of this chaotic push-pull that I spoke about in the moon's prior to moon reports, right? And it's to check in with that, check in with where you're coming from. I can't say this enough, and I know I've said it many times in these reports. Please come back to you. Come back to your own self-regulation, your own self-governance. Remove the shackles that have been kind of put around yourself and us and all of us in a collective way. Remove those shackles that have bound you to feeling not so safe, feeling that you need to ask for permission, feeling that you need safety from outside of yourself, and step into the divine energy of the goddess moon, her protective, loving, nurturing aspect, because it allows you to be the whole of you, right? Okay, so the Cancerian gaze is all about the full moon, right? So she's gazing at you, she's asking you to look at your emotions that are unhealed and unaddressed. What within you hasn't been healed, what within you hasn't been addressed, right? It's gonna come to the surface right now. And the reason it's going to come to the surface right now is because there is no other way. It's time for us to see what is holding us down effectively, okay? Holding us hostage even, okay? And learn to heal it, learn to make space, to create a new hole, a new space, to put newness into it. Because at the moment, what's going on at the moment is we're layering on top of unhealed emotions rather than healing those emotions and then creating space for new good vibe emotions. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're being offered, and to my mind we're being offered this beautiful energy of how we can create deep change. Find the root causes of the emotional responses that are coming up for you. Find out what's flaring up. Find out what's pushing at you and upsetting you. I mean, I've got a bit of it myself. I get very affected in this particular moon because of how my houses fall and the signs that I have in my houses. So kind of look at that as well if you want to. Also, just so that I can remind you all, when I do my reports, they do tend to fall on the side of GMT time because I'm in the UK. But I do look at some of the US aspects as well. So I will talk a little bit about them if they come up in this report. Okay, or I will whenever it's necessary. Got to remember at the moment there's a lot going on in the States because of financial stuff, and there's a lot happening with regard to change and alchemy there. Not always in a good way. It's going to be difficult first, and then it'll probably get a little bit better as time goes by. This isn't the time to avoid what's going on. It really isn't. It's not the time to go, if I hide. Think of what the Cancerian is like. It's got that protective shell. It wants to hide. It wants to hide away. This isn't going to work. This is asking yourself to be honest, open, and to let the light of the full moon illuminate everything. Let it reveal. Just like it's doing out on a global scale, allow it to start revealing within you. The interesting part that you might find here is that, this is really, really cool, right? If you step into it, you might find that some of the views you thought you had aren't real. You might find you change some of how you're thinking because of your deep new understanding through this sensitive aspect that Cancerian full moon is offering for you, okay? Now, as I say, I come back to you. The mother energy will hold you. Let the mother and the goddess moon and that energy of the divine mother hold you. Let it protect you right now, okay? I call this moon, and you're going to laugh because it's me, the moon is self-love and self-care. You are in such a good energy to step into looking after yourself, step into caring for yourself, right? The moon of self-love and self-care. And so let that moon of self-love and self-care, let the beautiful goddess moon energy uplift you, because she can do that. And she will do that for you if you allow her to, if you allow the energy to play and fuse with your own energy field, right? Okay, so what else have we got? You know, it's going to lend itself to this. Remember, we're also in the how important it is for you to pause, to reflect, to give time to yourself, to open yourself up to a warmer energy, to an energy that's going to be brighter for you. This pause and reflection time is to understand that safety and insecurity of the last 2 years has to go, it has to stop. We can't function, it's really hard within the chakra system to function when we're in instability, because the thing with instability is it flares up things like discontent. The polarization becomes more polarized, dissonance becomes more apparent. These things are no good for us right now. We need to move into the sanctity of love, connection, truth, and our own individual conscious aspect, right? Okay, so caring, loving, nurturing element. You're being asked to face your fears, to cleanse, to heal, to move beyond them. You can do this. You can do this. You know, let go of everything that doesn't serve you here. Just let it go. Now, remember also that we have the themes of Capricorn, because Capricorn is where our sun is. It highlights our ambition, letting our foundations realign, rejig, come into a clear aspect, come into an understanding, yeah? You know, practical Capricorn's going to assist you. Allow that beautiful, strong energy of Capricorn to help you to make plans to, you see, the emotional aspect of Cancerian is strong, but Capricorn energy isn't as emotional. It's not, it does have its emotion, don't get me wrong. Capricorn can be very emotional. Because I think I reminded you in the last new moon report about the fish's tail of Capricorn. It has that emotional aspect too. However, it has a strength, a determined strength. And that is the part of Capricorn energy to tap into. We're not looking to tap into the weaker sides of the signs, because it's going to stall us if we do that. So this is about tapping into the strength of the signs, the stronger aspect, the heightened energy, okay? So, you know, let Capricorn help you to strategize, to plan, to understand the emotions that are coming up and look at them from a clear perspective, a way that you can really understand them so that you can make full creative changes that are solutions that will really stand the test of time. Because Capricorn can give you that. It can give you the strength to be in strength. Yeah, to be wise, to be logical, to be clear. Okay, we've got the Cancerian moon there, and maybe there's a little bit of wishy-washy in emotion there, but emotion can be used in two ways, right? You have to be very careful with that. As human beings, we tend to look towards the negative because we're so polarized. We tend to look towards the negative. Let's look towards the positive aspect of what emotion can do for us. Emotion can bring through empathy, okay? Skills like empathy, understanding, collective connection, holism, helping one another, working together as an upper force, as opposed to taking, coercion, manipulation. This is an energy of love. Use that loving energy and give to yourself through that and step into what it's giving you, right? I haven't spoken much about the planets, actually. I'll speak a little bit about them in a moment. You know, I see somehow, though, if we're not careful, like for what I just said, the Cancerian shell can become a little bit of a wall. So, you know, do watch that because it might trap us between our wants and our needs and our desires. Let's just let that go. And the idea here is to let the soft protective element out, to soften ourselves, to manage the strength of ourselves, moving out of the shell. Yeah, the Cancerian strong protective shell. So moving out of the shell, kind of peeking your head out and going, okay, it's safe here now, and I can be safe. Now, here's the thing, here's the trick, and this is the thing to remember. Safety comes from believing there's safety and not allowing the outside craziness and insecure messages and bombardment to affect your inner system. This is why over the last lots of new moons and full moons, I have been helping with this understanding, advising with this understanding of come from in here and move outwards, as opposed to coming from outside in. This will protect you. We can't have a strong protective self-love, self-care foundation. You know I know this stuff, right? We won't have it if we keep looking outside of ourselves for validation, for understanding, for news, for knowledge, for truth. Truth can't come from outside of you, because that's not truth. That's polarization. It's not going to help you, because it won't be your message, it'll be someone else's message. This isn't to say that things out there are all bad, because they're not all bad. Yet it's to say that we need to be self-regulating. We need to look after ourselves. You know, it's that little thing, isn't it? When a little child hurts itself, does the mother run and overprotect it? Or does she allow the child to learn how to self-soothe? Yeah? This is your self-soothing. Step into self-soothing, right? You know, it's a good time to drop your walls and to embrace your new vibrancy. You know, a vibrant element, yeah? So, you know, what I'd like... So, remember, like I said about the USA, the US Pluto return is still very highlighted. And as I said before, there's monetary issues, this is a global crazy. It's literally going to flag up everything. And through the revelations, there's going to be this kind of really sort of sparkly energy, and uncomfortable energy. That kind of, you know, where you get your gut goes a little bit nervy. It's that kind of energy. It's going to kind of present itself throughout this year. 2022 is a year of tipping points. It's a year of stabilization. But within that stabilization, it depends on how accurate we are, whether we stabilize or whether we still end up teetering slightly on the brink of the axis of what's being presented, right? Now, the full moon in Cancer's power is powerful. And then we've got this Pluto in Capricorn, which is really asking us, remember what Pluto is, remember what Pluto governs, remember that secretive element that can stand in Pluto, but it's asking us to step into our own individuality, because it's really important, as I'm going to say this all the time, it is so important. If you haven't checked out my 2022 angel report, look at that, because it really steps into the understanding of this and what's coming up in the 10-year cycle, because the angels actually bring so the angels bring up what's coming up in the whole 10-year cycle, because they have highlighted that we're actually in a 10-year cycle, and within that cycle lots has got to change in order for us to move forward. Yeah, so that's kind of important. And if you want to see it, do have a look. It's on, I will put it in the notes here, but it's also on my YouTube page, and I have shared it in Facebook pages if you're on my Facebook. So, you know, as I said to you about what the Cancerian moon highlights, the emotional aspect, you know, remember the mother. Just remember that the Cancerian is a feminine sign, leaning into the feminine goddess energy, leaning into the mother. Now, I don't know if any of you watched my last week reading, my live reading on Facebook, but I actually mentioned, well, I didn't mention, but the two cards came out, and one of them was parenting and children, and it was still in the energy of that reading, and that's what's being highlighted here. Parent yourself, look after yourself, treat yourself well. The goddess mother moon will help you. Just step into that, align with that, okay? Because it's really going to help you to rise into your true inner power, your true inner genius, your true inner self, really. Because we all have these beautiful aspects within us that get quashed because of a society that kind of sometimes doesn't really accept or value those things. And now we are in a time of looking at how we can bring value to everything. We're in the energy of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. We're in the energy of truth and moving into everyone being able to harmonize with one another. Let's embrace that. Let's really, really embrace that, right? So what else have we got? So let's step back into the idea of power, because as I said, this was the moon of power. Now I want to ask some questions. You know, ask yourself some questions. Who are you giving your power away to? How are you giving your power away? What can you put in place to strengthen yourself? We're looking at boundaries here. We're looking at, are you hanging around with people that just don't serve you, that are making your world so much tougher? if that's happening, this energy is asking you to release that. Release those things, release those people, release the things that don't work for you, okay? Now, you've got to, see, what I say here is understanding your power from an inner space, okay? Step into your own protection. Now, when I say protection here, remember what I said about the Cancerian shell. This is a different style of protection. This is protection with the understanding that it's safe for you to be in this world. It's safe for you to be here, right? That's that protection. Because once you step into that protection, you're going to have a foundation that's strong, right? Yeah? You're going to have a good foundation. You know, we need... the other thing I'd like to say also, though, is if you know people that are soft and vulnerable within, bring some of that protective energy out, right? Bring some of that protection of yours out to help them as well, yeah? So that we can, because this is about, not just about being selfish, it's about being loving and caring to ourselves and the wider aspect once we've healed within, right? And dealt with the stuff that we need to within, yeah? So there are some tight squares within this chart. Pluto Uranus brings up that kind of push-pull that I mentioned in the new moon. We've got Uranus stationing direct and moving in the direction of kind of Earth events. You know, what I would say with the Uranus energy is that there's going to be kind of surprises and things don't really happen the way you'd expect them to, and that's that push-pull I was talking about. You've got that kind of slight push-pull between those energy fields, right? Because there's still the old orders trying really hard, and the planetary alignment and symbolism that we have right now and what's actually going on isn't going to allow that, okay? It is not going to allow that. Now, the year will be fairly unstable. I mean, what's not to know? The year's going to be fairly unstable because we're in a drive to create a really strong foundation and a really strong grounding. Now, I mentioned in the 2022 angel message actually about this. So, like I say, you might want to have a look at it because it's about rooting ourselves, creating good foundation as a human consciousness, as human beings, finding a society that will help us. And we will, when we allow this year, 2022, to reveal these truths, to open us to the stuff that we need to know, then we can step into the understanding of how we're going to move forward as a team together, right? Because at the moment, we've got this very divisory thing going on of kind of them and us cultural thing. I don't know who them and us are, but we have it, and I think most of you will understand it. It's not going to work. We really need to start understanding that we're here to live together. We're put here to learn that. It's a lesson to learn. We're here to learn to live together harmoniously and in love, and understanding everyone has their own needs, their own drives, and their own desires, right? Okay. Now, you know, Mars is aligned with the cosmic center. It means we can really tap into collective information, higher consciousness energy, information that resides within the element of honesty and understanding, okay? I would say this came up a little bit before this full moon, and it's going to carry on a little bit just after the full moon, right? There's a sense of realization, okay? And this is going to really help you to reframe your own life, okay? This isn't just your realization. It's going to be global mass realization, actually, to some degree. Yeah, what it's going to do is it's going to help you to reframe your life and your understanding and how you're going to play this game from here on and how you're going to work in this world from here on in. This is a very interesting year because your choice is going to mean something. So be really aware of that, okay? So, you know, things that you once thought just may no longer apply, and when you start to see this energy, you're going to see a new framework presenting itself for you, okay? You're going to start to understand there's more to this than you at first thought. So, as I said, always begin with you, move out. Now, the North Node is actually in Taurus, which is linked to Mother Gaia, to Earth, to nature, to connecting back to all that is. Think healthy, think clean, think pure, think well-rounded. Deepen your connection to Gaia. Deepen your connection to Earth. As I said, the whole energy around this is about the mother. So we've got the goddess moon, mother energy, and the divine Gaia energy, okay? it will link, there is kind of a link to disruptions. There will be some disruptions, okay, kind of lower level. So this is about you thinking about your inner needs, like where you're going to live, your home, your shelter, your food, what's coming for you, how are you going to make those things right within your world, how are you going to feel safe within your world. It's interesting within my own life actually, because I am really falling on the element of this, really needing to get my chakra kind of grounded in and be really safe of this world, because I haven't felt that way for quite some time. So so that's just an example for you. You know, how is it for you? What's going on for you? Is there any level of that? Is there some kind of unstable energy presenting itself? Okay, because you know everything's got to be reworked. And as I said, the thing about finances, there's a rejigging happen. And so my idea here is, wouldn't it be lovely if good can come up here? Let's bring the good up. Let's work at that. Let's raise the vibratory energy by being of light ourselves. Yeah. You know, if we clear the toxicity that's being yelled out at us, then what's going on in that power sense, then we can help to contribute to a higher level. Okay. Now, I think I mentioned it before, Saturn's got quite a strong hold here, very strong energy through this month and next month. And I think I mentioned it actually even in December readings, in December report. You know, remember what Saturn highlights, you know, and remember that, but we've got the Saturn energy and the Uranus energy and the two sides pulling. Yeah, it's going to be, one side is going to give one energy and the other side's going to give the other energy, and it's going to create something new. So that's to sort of tap into. Okay, so remember Venus is still in Capricorn till March. It is kind of, actually it comes out at the end of January, however that energy, the shadow of it, will still be there till March. So my question would be, did you look within? Have you opened up to what you're feeling? Because you've still got time to embrace this energy. You've still got time to heal whatever aspect it was that came up for you in that energy. I know mine still needs to be healed, so I'm sure some of you still have some of that to do too. And you know, yeah, it's an interesting one, because once you tap into that, you're going to give yourself that little bit more. Okay, so I do still see things coming up here, and things coming up to light, because of the Scorpio aspect with the Pluto aspect, right? Think reveal secrets, think more and more coming out that was hidden before. And as I say, the money aspect is there. It's so highlighted within that Pluto return. So Mercury comes together with Pluto in Capricorn at around 26 degrees later on in the month, which may mean that more stuff may come up globally. You could say it's like truth-telling energy. You could literally just say it's like truth-telling energy that is kind of being waved around at us, and we're being asked to sort of really kind of look at what's going on. And this is about making peace with what you're aligned with, and understanding if you're actually being bombastic. Because one of the things that came up even in the angel reading in 2022 was that this dissonance that they keep trying to highlight. The angels keep saying you're fighting with one another while other stuff's going on. We're not paying attention to. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to everybody, because where we are being redirected, right, is stopping us from seeing what could be changing that we need to be paying attention to. Does that make sense? I hope it really does make sense. If you don't know, you're not sure, please ask in the comments. I'd be really happy to bring more clarity towards that. Now, there's going to be a lot of fast-moving, chaotic energy, a lot of fast-moving, chaotic change. We've got Jupiter also in Pisces, but that brings in a really warm energy, which can really help us to step into our strong collective mission, our strong collective togetherness, our harmony, our own senses, all of that. And we can move through that into what I would say unconditional love. We can move into the self-love aspect by caring for ourselves, by bringing that self-love out. And we can move into that unconditional aspect, which doesn't ask so much of everybody else, because it understands love is our innate deep nature, right? So, you know, that's it's a whole level energy. It's available to us. It's just whether we want to embrace it or whether we want to ignore it and turn our backs on it, right? So there's the energy of being open. So look at it this way: crack open, allow yourself to soften, allow the shell of the Cancerian crab to remove itself, and allow yourself to crack open so that you can reveal the truth. And we can all do that together. If we can all step together in our own vulnerability, then we can all create a safer space, a place that we really want to live in, a place that we can live in harmony and love and truth. Because truth's really aspected here with the power element, because in power, that idea of truth and balance and honesty comes up quite big. Yeah. So what else? Okay, we've got the angels are telling me that the energy of the earth is upgrading, it's streamlining, it's changing. Something that they wanted to say was that the new energy is bringing through new potential capabilities for human species as a whole. So there's more to this. Allow it so you can step into that energy. You see, the thing is, and as they say to me, we cannot step into that while we hold on so tightly to the old ideas, the old ideology, the old systems, the old broken discrepancies, because there was quite a lot of discrepancies in our old world. We can still see them. And if you look, you can right now see these two energies kind of bashing against each other, trying to amalgamate with each other, but not quite working, not quite fitting, not quite understanding, because darkness can't know light and lightness can't know dark. And although it can encompass itself together, it needs itself to be of a whole, not of two separate forces. So that kind of yin and yang, as opposed to trying to be two separate balls of energy, right? Makes sense? I hope so. So, you know, this is a really good time, I would say, to focus on your light, focus on joy, on gratitude. Let go of immersing yourself in any kind of contracted energy, because high frequency is available to all of us. It really, really is. And with the Jupiter energy, right, dream big. Give yourself the opportunity to dream big, because that is being highlighted. Opportunity is highlighted here. Now, if you haven't watched my self-love diet tip videos yet, and you've got right to the end of this video, it's really worth you having a look at it, because those self-love diet tips will really help you to step into the self-love and self-care. And I've also got the self-care series as well. They will really help you right now to move through what's available within this Cancerian full moon and what's available to you. They will really help you to realign, to refocus, to repurpose, and to come from a space that's of love. Because you are love. Whether you realise it or not, you are pure love. You're born of love. You're born in this innate system with that loving energy. It's just that through the society that we've lived in, that innate energy has sometimes been bashed and moved and twisted and turned. And, you know, it's about us kind of riding into a new understanding, stepping into our new collective ideologies. So what I'll do is I will put down in the information below the 2022 message link, the links to the self-love diet tips, and you can look, no, I'll just do the self-love diet tips. If you want to look for the self-care series, just have a look on my page, the actual YouTube channel, so Self-Love Self-Care System actual YouTube channel, and have a look for the link, because it will be down below on my actual page. There's a playlist, and the actual self-care series is there, and that would really help you to make the changes that will really help you with this Cancerian full moon energy, which is lovely and warm. And as I say, just before I go, step into the goddess energy of that beautiful mother. And if you can tonight, maybe light a candle, release something, maybe write on a piece of paper. If you've got like a fireproof dish, if you do not, please do not do this. But if you have a fireproof dish, write something that you want to release, burn it within the candle flame that you light, and then put it in the fireproof dish to completely burn off. and allow that to release itself out of your energy field, because it won't serve you right now. Nothing that is of toxicity is going to serve any of us right now. It's just going to hold us back. We are stepping into a divine aspected world if we want to. Can't take everyone with us, but if you're willing to join the party and you're willing to join the angelic communion of divinity and what is being brought through conscious energy gateway systems, through the cosmic intelligence, then you can have that. You can have that. It's being opened. The gates are opened at the moment to those who want to change, to be of love, to be of care. This isn't a time anymore of control, manipulation, and telling everyone what to do and trying to be in charge, because all that's going to do is stick you within your own ego consciousness and stop you from riding into your own true brilliance, because we are all of a spark that is brilliant, and it's to step into that. So thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe if you love this stuff. Please do. I'd love to have you on board. It's so great to create a community where we can all share, and I can share with you and you can share with me. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when things come out, because that tells you. And yeah, thank you so much. Happy, beautiful full moon in Cancer. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Really look after yourself, nurture yourself, care for yourself, and love yourself. And I am sending you so much love from here in the UK. Namaste, everyone. Take care of yourself. Lots and lots of love. Mwah! Kisses. Take care. Hugs. Bye-bye.